Welcome back. I'm Tony Regisford, and I'm into my final segment on this edition of Unrendered. My guest is Professor Brian Copeland. Professor Copeland, we're talking about streamlining students and where you sit in Trinidad as, you are the Dean of the Faculty of Engineering for UWI.
Yeah.
Are you seeing the people who are coming into you in the engineering faculty? Are you seeing people who are left side brain only, streamlined from a system through the secondary schools?
Yeah, that's exactly what I'm seeing. In my view, a young person growing up, up to about the age of 18, you expose them to as broad a spectrum of education as possible. You have to remember that that person, whether then they will be an engineer or a doctor, whatever, they're going to be a member of society.
Yes.
They have to fit in. They have to be able to survive, but they also have to be able to contribute. They have to be able to relate to people, their family, their community. You don't get that if you develop only one side of the brain. You don't get that by, excuse me the big term, bifurcating the training.
Right.
As early as age 14, when they don't even know what they want to do, you have just condemned that person possibly to work in an area that they don't like. That's early gray hairs. That's frustration. That may even be leading to crime, right? And Lord knows what else. Our job as those who are controlling the educational sphere is to ensure that we get as best a fit as possible for the person in terms of what's offered in the educational spectrum. You cannot get that by forcing them into the arts and modern studies or in technology at a very early age. I prefer for the artists to get a bit of the science. For the scientists, you can see the trends as they grow, to get a bit of the art right through. Even at university, we need to have a less of a split. I've been advocating the introduction of humanities, for example, the reform in engineering, because that's developing the right brain. It's been shown, I'm just talking about this today, that the persons who can more easily solve problems, especially the human-related problems, as you will face in industry, are those who have the right brain developed. So we are actually, I would say, not getting the best of the money we spend in education by doing that split and streaming people in from early. You don't know what they're designed for. Let them find that out.
There's a school of thought. I've certainly heard it expressed by our current Prime Minister, Dr. Gonsalves, and I think George Lamin, when he was here doing the lecture, said the same thing about Caribbean history as a subject.
Right.
And he's saying that is something that should be taught as, compulsory, really.
I agree.
At the primary schools, secondary schools, would be a compulsory subject for your CXCs.
Yeah.
Tell me, at UWI though, is that, say, an elective? If I came to do an engineering course, could Caribbean history be an elective?
Worse than that, it doesn't count. And that's where we're trying to change things.
Yes.
So we are looking at moving the program from 3 years to 4 years. I don't think 3 years is enough to build a person who might want to be an engineer.
Right.
Notice my words. You're building a person. It's not enough. 4 years is not enough, but it's much better than 3. In the 4, we will be doing the same level of technology as we were before. No additions. Everything else is humanities. So, Caribbean history, compulsory, I feel it should be. I can have a discussion on that, but so long as they do something that is outside of technology, that develops themselves, that builds their awareness of the society and where it came from. There are a lot of students who don't know where it came from. We have a hall. Just 1 second. There's a place called Dagger Hall on campus. It was burned down for many years and they just built it back up.
Right.
And a lot of people think that Dagger is Macanal Dagger, who is now in government, and was involved in the Black Power Revolution. They know that Dagger was a person who led a slave revolt and was shot just outside of UWI, right, in the 1800s. They don't know that part of history at all.
So they don't know that, yes.
You see it? So if you don't know your history, you are dead for sure.
Right. So it doesn't really matter if you're an engineer, if you're a doctor.
No.
You're pretty lost in everyday life if you think you can just pigeonhole yourself into your profession. But so UWI should have this. I mean, UWI of all universities, this is University of the West Indies.
Yeah.
So if they're not teaching Caribbean history at Yale and Harvard, then we don't expect them to.
We need to be the
right?
masters of that.
Precisely.
Yeah.
So I would suggest that maybe that's something that...
we'll ask you to come and do. You seem to be well versed.
No, I'm not actually. I'm versed at asking questions. Now, back to students. Yeah. You are here as a part of a team, a UWI team. And as I'm told, it's a road show pretty much that you guys are doing. What are you hoping to achieve by this?
Well, two things. One is to raise the understanding of the school population. Right. Of what UWI has to offer. I was at the St. Vincent Grammar School, I said this morning. It was my first stop. And I mean, really great kids inside there. Okay. Really great. And, and they just didn't know a lot of things about engineering, number one, and then about what UWI has to offer in terms of engineering. So part of the trip is, in fact, to build that level of sensitization to what we have to offer. But for me personally, as Dean of Engineering, we took a decision at the end of last year to move out from Trinidad, to start going out and saying, how is engineering impacting on the non-campus territories, the other islands, the Grenadiers, the St. Vincent, St. Lucia, and so on. What is happening there? What are their needs? We have an idea as to what these needs are. But there is an initiative that we've started, and this legacy trip is just a preliminary trip for me, to take a look at what those needs are and how can we better support the development and growth, meet the needs of people in the islands outside of Trinidad, outside of Barbados. Would you believe that even Jamaica is in need of a stronger engineering input, and they've just started a new engineering school. Finally, after all of these years. We've helped them set that up. Jamaica had a peculiar problem and figured we had to solve it. Yes. And the way to solve it was to create another faculty of engineering. It hasn't reached faculty stages yet, but it's coming. What we see happening, and this ties in again with engineering reform, is that there'll be levels of engagement. We have a pre-engineering program that is offered by the open campus. Now, the pre-engineering program is designed for two purposes. One is to improve the intake into the main faculty's program, the main faculty program, trying to compensate a bit for the deficiencies that we see in CAPE and everything else.
Yes.
The second thing is that not everybody's going to get into the BSc program, but what we hope is that the qualifications they get will make them better prepared for work, for life, and for further study in other areas, or maybe later on if they want to come to the faculty as well. Yes. So we're trying to build that. And the mechanism for delivery is through the open campus, who in fact are the ones who invited us here, who are in fact hosting us here. So as I said, it's twofold. One is, three I guess. One is basically to sensitize people. The second one is in fact to start that engagement, to get to understand what the needs are. And the third one is to build that relationship that will come to the pre-engineering program, which by the way I have to say, it's a unique program. Because you get theory and you get practice. And I'm not talking about labs. The pre-engineering program is run in Trinidad as a pilot. It's worked very well. And what we do is for 3 days a week you do theory. And for 2 days a week you done overalls.
Right.
And you go down.
You're going in the field.
Oh yeah, you do welding, you do masonry, you do plumbing, you do electrical. Yes. Because I am firmly of the view that if you're an engineer, you better know what a technician could do. You need to be able to take your hands and do what that person can do as well. You may not do it as well as they could because they're skilled and they're doing it all the time. But you must know what is involved.
When we started this program, we were talking about what's an engineer, right? You were talking about the fact that engineering a long time ago was actually seen as something, not a cerebral. It was, in the trenches.
Yeah, you call it blue collar.
Blue collar.
Right.
Okay. The whole issue of vocational education here, where people, go to school to become an electrician, plumber, etc. That still is pretty stigmatized.
Yes.
Okay. And as a consequence, what one tends to get, people who become plumbers, and I hope I'm not offending any plumbers and electricians by saying this, but there are instances where people who become plumbers and electricians and so on have been dropouts, if you want, okay? And you get that quality of work coming through, sadly enough. Some plumbers come to your house and they're really, not a complete tradesman.
Yeah.
And that's perhaps because the entry criteria onto those programs, because of the stigma, pulls in a different quality person. Now, I know you sit at UE. What in the dying moments of this program, would you suggest that is done to stigmatize the lower, and I don't want to use the word lower, the sub-levels of what goes on the engine, of technology?
Yeah.
Yes.
I would.
We have to do this in 30 seconds.
Well, we're
Yes.
doing it now. We're bringing it into the university. Just as right now the CXC is putting in the Caribbean vocational qualifications in high schools, yes. Same CVQ that you can get even as a tradesman, and you've never gone to school, you can present yourself to them for certification, and if you pass, you get a certificate. It's the same certificate. The pre-engineering program, that's what they get at the end of their vocational study. We intend to take that into the main program. So by the time they leave, they would at least have achieved CVQ level 3. That's the plan for the future. That we think is going to go a long way to eradicating that stigma, which is, that is one thing that's just basically holding back development.
Professor Copeland, in 10 seconds, what's the overall health of the engineering faculty of UE?
I would say it's very good, it's exciting, and we're trying to make it even more exciting. It is an extremely good program to get into, while still being at home, and it is one that is geared to developing the Caribbean region. That's how we see ourselves. A very, very strong program as it is right now. We are, by the way, accredited. Every single program we offer is accredited internationally, right, as well as locally. We don't even have to question it. We are ranking right next to the best.
Professor Copeland, it's been a pleasure having you on the program.
It'll be my
and
pleasure.
Do enjoy the rest of the time you have in St. Vincent.
I certainly will. Lovely island.
Thank you. This has been Unrendered. My guest was Professor Brian Copeland, the Dean of the Faculty of Engineering at the University of the West Indies. Jomo Thomas is up next with Plain Talk.
I am Jomo Thomas, and this is Plain Talk. People everywhere want the best of everything for the least cost. People want jobs, roads, a good medical system, and a clean and healthy place to live. But no one wants to make the sacrifice. We all want the best out of life, but no one wants to pay taxes. In times like these, I am reminded that everybody wants to go to heaven, but no one wants to die. I agree with the American jurist Oliver Wendell Holmes when he said, "With taxes I buy civilization." He meant roads, medicine, hospitals, and all of the other good things we take for granted in modern society. The rich destroy countries and dislocate the lives of human beings, yet receive all of the benefits of society. If there is going to be sacrifice, the poor feels it because they can least afford to pay higher taxes. All politicians must therefore stop playing politics with people's lives. Mitchell was opposed to Cato's proposed water rates, proclaiming that God water is free. Within months after he became Prime Minister, he placed fees on the water. Now, Cummins is bawling murder advantage to a small increase in water fees, while he more than anyone else knows we need more money to run a modern waterborne system. Government and opposition must responsibly deal with tax increases and let people know that without the increases, some services will suffer. Politics as usual has outlived its usefulness.